we step into the next level. Timeless game every day of the week. Could tell you how to level up your spirit and be success driven and mind strong. Get your finances right, get your grind on. You know there's power in the story. Tune in, this the valor of the true man. Success blueprint.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Success Blueprint. I am Mike, the man of valor. Got Jaime, financial enabler here. And man, we're back excited, fired up with the next episode. Man, we're going to really dive into what personal development is and what it looks like. Why? Because everybody wants results, right? But most people won't actually do the work it takes to get there. Right. So today we're going to talk about personal development. This is not like a motivational poster or anything. This is going to be like real, uncomfortable, daily version of what it takes to change your life. Right. So Jaime, I'm fired up, brother. Let's get to this thing. This episode is going to cover just some basics around what we do. Right. How we grow. I mean, who's this for? Absolutely everybody. Anybody looking to change their life. So let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
What does it look like for you? What does personal development look like for you?
Man, to me, personal development is, I guess in an easy way, constant consumption and application of things that are good. Right? Like to me, it's a consume and apply. It's like, because, you can watch TV and consume. Like theoretically speaking, if you watched the right movies, you could consume and apply. So that's like consumption and application is the key, right? Like, kind of funny. I told you the Michael Jackson movie. I think it's a awesome dreamer movie. And I think that for me, whether it's reading, podcasts, YouTube, the Bible, all of that is included in my personal development, right? Whether it's spiritual, mental growth, right? And to me, what I just prioritize it. First thing in the morning is something that it improves. I like to think about it as like I improve my faith, I improve my wisdom, assume something in there, my emotional is applied, and then I go work out, right? So that's like my rhythm for self-improvement, and it's just become a daily thing. And I like to think that I'm pretty crazy about it. What does it look like for you?
Yeah. Reading, watching, listening, right, all of those things. And right, the working out piece, making sure I'm eating some kind of healthy. I eat healthy naturally. I don't just like a lot of sugars. That's not really a struggle for me as much. The reading and consuming on the next level. I'm not talking, this is for, obviously we do it on a much higher level than most people, right?
Right.
We're consuming a lot of things, which is really good for us and where we're headed. Not everybody wants to do that. So what I'm not saying is that you got to do this for 24 hours a day, right? For as long as you're awake. It just has to be intentional. Whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, every stinking day. So that's what it looks like for me is, man, I'm reading something, watching something, listening to something. Every movie I watch, like you, I'm finding some way to apply it to life. Everything I read, I'm looking at a way to apply it. Even playing a video game with my son, I'm thinking about strategy and like, oh man, right? Why are we doing it this way? And, and I'm not really a video game guy. So the 10 minutes he gets, right, of me doing it, once or twice a week with him, I'm always thinking about those things and how can I apply this thing, reading the Bible, right? When I'm during that time, I'm constantly finding ways that I can apply what I learned so I can grow there. And then probably the most important aspect of all of that is not just consuming it, it's being able to apply it and share my learnings with somebody else. Right.
Sharing your learnings. Tell me, is that something like make sure that you can teach it too?
Yeah, and teach it to an extent right now for sure, because we're leading people, right? And the things that we're learning, I got to be able to. I want to be able to say, hey, I'm not just telling you this, I can teach it as well. But what I mean by share my learnings is initially, I just want to be like, man, I read this book today, or I read this, and bro, this is what I learned. Not that I need to teach it to you, but I'm learning this for about me or where I am, right? Me and you do that often. It's like, bro, I'll just learn this. I thought about this thing, and right, I got to share that. So for me, I just want to share what I learned, not necessarily in a teaching way, although a part of everything for me, I am learning. I learn it to apply it. And when I apply it, it's easier for me to teach for sure.
Yeah. And for you, what is something that how do you pick? What do you like picking for your self-improvement? How do you how are you picking that? Like whether it's the book, the video, the movie, whatever, what do you pick?
I think it's right now just based on Well, some of it is based on where I currently am to help me move forward to that. A lot of it is based on where I'm going and how I should be thinking in the future, how I should be leading better. How can I be thinking, strategizing? How can I have that one obsession around the thing that I'm doing? And what does it look like to be obsessed almost? So the time I see it, these people are insanely focused and crazy, and everybody around them, like, they don't think about nothing else but this. And I'm like, yes, right. I have to get to that space. So a lot of it is that based on where I'm going. So yeah. And the things that I love, like I love scripture. I love going through the Bible and sermons and things like that. But I also know that all of that stuff is going to empower my life, and I can apply it to business, to relationships, to family, to raising kids, to leading people, to I don't know, selling, marketing,
Yeah.
everything, right? So I'm looking at those things because that's what my life is around, right?
Yeah.
And where we're headed. So yeah. What about you? How do you do it?
So when it comes to books, because I try to like read and listen to one book at the same time, at the very least, on top of the Bible. I try to pick, like, I kind of have a flow right now that is something spiritual, something leadership, something business, something money. That's generally been my rhythm. I want to add biographies. Like, I just heard of a biography that'd be really cool to read of, for example, Michael Jordan's coach in UNC. And I was like, oh, that would be cool. But again, I haven't done enough biographies. Like, I want to read Elon's biography. But pretty much I revolve around that, right? Faith,
Good.
leadership, business, money. And I try to pick one of each and just go with it. And then on YouTube, I just watch a lot. Right now, I'm just watching a lot about AI. I don't think enough people are diving into that. And everybody that is somebody is worried about it. And I think we need to have a better understanding of it. So I'm putting a lot of priority in that.
Yeah, that's good. And you said those categories, and it's exactly where I'm at too. I was thinking
Yeah.
about it. Like, I do the same thing, right? Literally those things: spiritual, leadership, business, and money, right? Yeah, that's almost everything that I consume. So that's good.
What do you think is it that people, why do it?
It's hard. If I'm just honest, I think people are looking for a quick fix versus consistency, so it can compound, right? And we have it in our business where we say, hey, part of our daily routine is to read 10 pages a day.
Right.
If you go back and I guarantee, if we look at the thousands of people in our organization, maybe 2%, if
Yeah.
that 1% of us are actually doing it
Yeah.
on that level, right? On a daily basis, actually reading, actually doing those things, because it's
Yeah.
difficult. It seems to be something that there's no way that reading this book is going to help me get better and get me out of where I'm at. I'm looking for
Yeah.
this right now thing. I'm looking to get my leadership skills better. I'm looking to make a sale. I'm looking to, whatever, grow my business. And it can't be in reading. It's like, absolutely. So
Yeah, I agree. And I think people don't have enough grace, right? Like, I think that the idea is to read, right? But I think that there's a point that, because I feel that in the modern world, there's a lot more time demands, things pulling at our time. And so let's say, but I think that people that only listen to music and don't listen to a book are also hurting themselves, right? Would reading be better? Sure. But if you read enough and then you're listening to things, then it starts compounding. It's still going into our mind. And I don't think enough people prioritize that, because it's much easier to just listen to music. And I wish that more people would say, okay, where am I wasting time? Or where can I add more goodness in my life? And whether it's listening to a book while working out, while driving, it slowly starts compounding. Eventually it adds up. I'm convinced that part of the reason that I'm where I'm at is that I went many years listening to books while running. That's helped me a ton. And I think that not only is it difficult, like you said, people often opt into accepting that their life is good enough. So it's like, why do I need to get better? I just had a guy last night like tell me, it's like, well, I have no money for retirement. I wish I would have done this 10 years ago. And I'm like, let's do it right now. He's like, yeah, I'll see you next year. I'm like, what? Bro, you got to start now. You got to start
Yeah.
now. And people are constantly delaying, and that really hurts them. And it's
Absolutely.
so funny. I don't want to go into this too deep, but like the why, right? So not enough into the why. How did you create your rhythm for your self-improvement?
Yeah, to start, it's just centered around my family, right? On what's available. So I'm like, man, how do I find time where I can actually do this? I can read a book. I can listen to whatever, watch whatever I want to watch. The things that I watch are appropriate for my family and my kids. So I watch that when they're around, right? All right, you need to hear this too.
Right.
Even if you're on a video game or whatever you're doing, I'll play that no matter what, right?
Mhm.
And like you said, I enjoy music. I love it. right? Love listening to music, big on that. We've heard in previous episodes that man, me and Candace love karaoke. You can't just go do
Right.
karaoke without listening to music, right?
Yeah.
So we love that. We do enjoy listening, and we do, right? Even while we're working, I'll play some jazz in the background or something simple, smooth, and like chill in the background. When I can just, click away at the keyboard, whatever. Sometimes I'm on a meeting or whatever the case may be, I can do those things. But I also have
Mhm.
the times where I'm in the car,
Right.
where I'm working out, where I'm going for a walk or whatever the case may be, where I definitely would not use that time to listen to music. I can listen to a book for sure.
Mhm.
Hey, I'm reading scripture, I'm reading the word, right? I'm in that at night before I go to bed. I got a book next to the bed so I can grab that. I can't sleep. I'm in the Bible reading or something like I find instead of scrolling on social media, right? So that's how I find time to do it is in times where I would be doing something that is mindless anyway. Why not fill that space? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I do my best not to take time away from the family to do that. But in the mornings, they're not up. They're doing their thing anyway. So I might as well read. And it doesn't take me long. 30 minutes, 10 pages is nothing. All right. I'm
Yeah.
usually reading a little more than that, but whatever. Right. So yeah, it's really good. That's how I find the time to do it with a
Right.
family and business.
Let me ask you, what do you think about let's say like curating their social media so that it's more useful?
Yeah. Yeah. That's 100% what we should be using it for anyway. Right.
Uh-huh.
Versus looking at, I don't know, some stuff. I mean, we all get caught in the dumb stuff. It happens, right? Some funny
Mhm.
stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna do my best. And you can go and unfollow some things, like some things. Hey, don't show me this content. Only show me these things. Like you can go in and set that up for yourself, just to feed your brain. And the truth is, you don't have to do this forever. The average person doesn't need to do it. Doesn't need to consume as much as we consume, right? That's the absolute truth. You don't need to do that. What you need to
Mhm.
do though is set it up to where, hey man, I can just be growing a little bit at a time, right? Just a little
Mhm.
more here and there. It'll give you that, like the book we read, Slight Edge. It'll give you just a
Yeah.
slight edge on life and being able to just step up and all right, cool.
Mhm.
And then you'll start to love it and enjoy it, and you'll want more of this thing because you'll see the fruit of it, right?
Right.
Most people don't know that your life really changes in about 3 to 6 months. You don't see
Yeah.
it maybe until later, but really 3 to 6 months of just focus, or you can change everything, right?
People want microwave success.
Yeah, right. And so if you use social media because you're already on it, why not watch something good? Why not watch something that's going to feed your brain? That's going to challenge you to think bigger and harder and better and love more and do some introspective things and say, man, you know what? The world isn't fighting against me. I'm out here just letting it go versus let me just get better. Let me grow. Let me learn, right? Let me get stronger. So yeah, for me, that's really what it's about. What about you?
So I mean, social media for me is wildly entertaining, like everybody else. But I've made sure that my social media is mostly good. Like I think I've spoken about this before. That I make the joke is like I can't wait for Tanya to see a hot chick pop out of my social media because she'll know that makes no sense. Like I didn't put that there. I have not. That is not my algorithm, and my algorithm is surrounded by growth, self improvement, business, money, like news, like good news, and I think that it's just how much we feel with it, right? Like, what what is important to us, right? Like if you want to be a good father, are you gonna again follow hot chicks or follow people that are role model adults, right? Like
Mhm.
whatever. So like we start liking and telling social media, be part of my tools, so that I can grow. Um, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
And
good.
I've put a lot of time into that part because I've used social media for my own business. That I want to make sure that like my social media is good. Like I want to be like, click, there it is. There's some more good stuff. And it's been really awesome to see the shift in it compared to like a few years ago that I could tell was trash. Now
Yeah.
it's not trash. Now it feels very useful, very intentional. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, which is awesome because I want my kids to be able to pick up my phone and accidentally scroll on Instagram and
Mhm.
feed their brain and not have to worry about what they saw.
Yeah, it's
Right.
all good. Go ahead and
Yeah.
grab it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Right. So we're really kind of talking about why people skip this part.
Yeah.
Right. Let me ask you, is it just uncomfortable? Is the uncomfortable truth that they consume without applying it? Or people just not doing it because of that? Or, or what are they doing? You tell me, what do you think people do? Because I know people, I've heard people say, oh yeah, I'm reading the books. I've read that book. I did this. I've been to one of those before. I read that book once. Right. And blah, blah. It's like, oh yeah, I read the Bible and I read, whatever it is, but there's no fruit. What do you think that is?
Is the reading without applying, or is the listening without applying? Like they're not putting they're not using a second thought, and I think that's a pretty good a simplification. We need a follow-on thought to be able to apply. But if you just read, there's no follow-on thought. Kind of like, I always have it here in my office, Think and Grow Rich, right? I show it to most people, and I'm like, have you read this book? They're like, yeah. Are you applying the 6 things? And I'm like, what 6 things? I was like, you didn't read it.
Didn't read it.
I was like, you missed it. Like, there's one thing. Do those 6. That is the one thing. And it's like, all it takes is to put a second thought, follow-on thought. It's like, okay, what does this mean? How can I apply this? Kind of like, I had a crazy one. Have you ever read, I'm sure you have, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership? I'm listening to it right now for the first time. And I was like, I wonder what is Cash's weak point? And I was like, well, I don't know. And then I was like, I'm going to make a test to figure out people's weak points. So I created I think it's 115, 105 question test to be able to figure out which ones are our strengths and our weak points. Because then once I find my weak points, I can put somebody to like, you do that. I'm not good at those. I'm gonna give it a shot, see if it gives me an idea. But all it took was a second thought. Yeah. When it said we all have them and we all have the things that we're weak on, all I needed to be like, okay, follow on thought. What are mine? How do I figure out mine?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be a part of your test bid for that for sure.
Heck yeah, that'll be cool.
So send me that. And I mean, when you said that follow-on thought, it took me to Bob Proctor in Born Rich when he says, who was it? One of the guys, I think it wasn't Bob, it was the other one. What was his name? I forget.
John Canary.
John Canary. There you go. John Canary said, what is it? 95% of people never think.
Yeah.
Right? 3% of people think they think, and 2% of people actually think, right?
Yeah.
And putting forth that effort. So that when you said that, that's what popped in my head immediately is that, we think that we're actually thinking and we're not.
Yeah.
And most of us are looking for a way to just be mindless and walk through life and expect life to just give us whatever. Life, and I hear the saying when I hear this, when I think that, life is life, and no. Right?
No.
Take hold of the thing and you choose how your life goes. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that you won't go through hard things.
Yeah.
Absolutely going to, but it's how your response to them. It's your, no, I'm not going to let this shape me or move me or mold me. I'm going to move forward in life and do some things that's powerful.
Yeah.
So that's good. And when you said with that too, it made me think information without application is just entertainment.
Yes. Just entertainment. Yeah.
It's just entertainment. Right. And people they confuse feeling inspired for actually growing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which is insane to me that we feel like that. So that's powerful, man. Yeah. So what are some common excuses do you think you hear for people actually doing the work? What do you think?
The people not doing the work.
Yeah. Excuses.
It's always, I'm too busy. My kids, work. I'm too tired. I would say those are the pardon if you get offended with what I'm about to say, the weak minds people's excuse. My kids, I'm too tired, not enough time. And I'm gonna give you, I'm tied to something I've been saying to a lot of people is that I'm asking this question. And again, I'm addressing men, right? And this is not a counter to the faith. So just bear with the thought. I asked men, you a king or a pawn? They're like, I'm a king. I was like, then what would a king do? You pick. It's your kingdom. Are you a king or a pawn? You pick. And then it's like, I never thought of that. I was like, yes, if you act like a king, you got to do this. Like kings don't have, I'm also not speaking like modern day kings. I'm thinking like medieval times, like old timey kings. It's like, I just dealt with everybody's problems today and I got to go fight a war tomorrow and I got to deliver my daughter to get married. It's like, this is just what you do. Like, this is what kings do. It's like, it's not easy. How do you get so good that you could carry that? And to tie it into that, I just got really fired up about it. I'm reading the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, okay. I haven't read that one.
It's actually so good. It's phenomenal because he was like very known for a very, very pragmatic king. He was wildly successful. He's like, why am I letting these things bother me? Why do I let these things affect me? And it's just like the pragmatism is like, but he acted like a king. He wasn't opulent with his food. I don't know if he was loyal, but I'm pretty sure he was. Like, he wasn't chasing women. He wasn't chasing distractions. He was like, I got a king. Like, this is what I got to do. And I realized that in our life, if we just say, especially for men, are you a king or a pawn? Act like a king. And then it's like really easy. Then all of a sudden, you're probably not going to be that tired. Your kids need you to do that. And you must find the time because that's just what kings do, So yeah. that's kind of, I think those are the three main excuses that I can think of. Can you think of another one?
I gotta pray about it.
Oh, I gotta pray about it.
That one drives me nuts, right? It drives
Gotta
me
pray about
insane. That's probably the one I hear the most as well, in addition to those three, right? I think people, and we've heard this before, we use them as excuses instead of reasons.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's reasons. It's like, oh, why? And then the other one I hear is, I read the Bible, so I don't need to do personal development. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Insane. Yeah.
I just
So
thought of
that's
one
great.
with that. Just thought of this with that. It's like there had to be something in God's plan that he picked Paul, one of the wisest people. He was oh my God, I just draw a blank what he was before.
He was
He
one
was
of
a
those.
Pharisee, right? Highly educated. He read more than just the Torah.
Yeah.
It's like he had wisdom. He had knowledge that with God became wisdom. It's like we need more than just that. For crying out loud, like the books were not written they were still articulate, even while written in their language. These are educated people. I'm willing to bet that most people cannot write like Isaiah did, right? So it's like we need so much more knowledge than just like, it's just the Bible. No, God inspired all these other things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell people all the time, I personally believe that most books, especially personal development things and helping you grow, are based on spiritual principles from the scripture, right? It's just practical application of how to do it. And so sometimes we hear things like, you just got to have faith. Okay, what does that mean? How do I persist through this thing? You know what I mean? Like, what does it look like to walk that actually out? And most people are not spirit. And please don't be offended. If I hit you, I ain't mean to miss you. All right, please not offended by this. Most people aren't in tune spiritually enough to take the Bible and apply it to every area of their life.
Yes.
In a way that they don't need to read other books. Most people are not that way, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because we don't even know what we're reading. Most of us are reading the Bible, don't understand scripture, which is fine. Even the disciples didn't understand. Jesus had to pray for their eyes to be open. I'm not hating on you. I'm not saying I'm that guy neither, because we all need some kind of revelation to bounce it off of other folks, which is good. So that just means you have to learn to read other things that'll help us get to that next level.
And to that point, if what you're saying is true, if people are saying read the Bible is enough, then all the people that have written Bible commentaries are a waste of time. So all the Bible commentaries are a waste of time. They're not, because like those people we can argue that God gave the biblical wisdom. Commentators are just people that have spiritual wisdom to explain the Bible verses in the hundreds of thousands of ways that they have. And then the quote unquote secular books, all they are is going to give us the clues to apply the Bible to our daily life, right? But people miss that. Like, and you and I have been through that. You read a book and you're like, oh, this guy's a Christian. Or like, oh, that is something in, like right now, meditations, he says the gods, lowercase Gods.
Yeah.
But I'm like, every time I read it, whenever he says gods, I just read God. He is not giving me a blasphemous information. He is saying all the biblical principles. He's just putting it in his purview, right, at that time. But I can learn from that and apply it. But people don't have enough wisdom to connect the dots, because if not, we would be all, I don't know. I don't have a better word. The Pope, right? Whatever. I'm not saying the Pope is the guy, but you get my analogy.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's good. So, because we're getting close, let's talk about this. So, personal development. People think personal development mean reading a motivational quote, watching YouTube, attending the seminar, feeling fired up for 48 hours. There's some personal development. When it actually means identifying specific weaknesses and attacking it daily.
Yes.
Doing the uncomfortable things so you can feel ready when it's that time. Changing your behavior and not just your mindset, right? Tracking the growth with measurable evidence, right? This is the biggest for me, right? And I do this well. I do it often. And for me, personal development, if I'm not tracking it, if I'm not measuring, I'm not doing anything. What's the point, right? I don't even know if I've grown. So I personally measure 3 ways, and I use 4 ways, and I use intentionality with all of them. So I measure personally. I got to see where I am as a person. Like, I'm like, all right, how have I grown in the last 6 months? I encountered this situation again. If you'd have caught me 6 months ago, I'd have went off. Right. I don't want it to cut you with my tongue or whatever the case may be. But right now, I don't even have that same heart. I want to help you. I'm going to be quiet, right? I can handle, you know what I mean? So I'm measuring those things that way. I measure with friends. Like, you'll see, hey man, bro, tell me how I can grow, man. Why would you do this? Tell me some stuff. I do that all the time. I measure with the people I'm leading. I ask them the same questions. And then I measure with my mentors. Hey, man, this is what I'm seeing. What do you see? How can I grow? Right. And I'm doing all of that all the time so I can make sure that if I can't see my own growth and nobody else can, I'm not growing. right?
Yeah.
And I hold myself to such a high standard, not beating myself up. I just have a high standard that every time somebody talks to me, I've grown.
Mm.
You talked to me yesterday and the difference in today. If I haven't grown, I just have that high standard that I need to grow, right? And I push myself to that space. So measurable, you got to measure, and that all comes to accountability, right? You got to be accountable to people. So that's what I do on a daily basis and monthly, quarterly. I do it with my kids. How can I be a better father? Do it with my wife. How can I be a better husband? And how can I lead better in our business? Whatever the case may be, I'm looking for it constantly. And so I
Mm.
can get to, so I can become better. What about you?
I haven't thought much of my measuring, right? But I
Mhm.
agree. I like the measure. So, but for me, self improvement, the way that I haven't thought about asking people, and I've been thinking about how do I measure this. But to me, it has been like what I consume. How do I apply? If I've consumed, I cannot apply. Then I didn't. I got nothing from it,
Mm.
right? Like if I watch a AI video, I need to be thinking, how do I apply this?
Let me
And
get
again, even from a book, it may be one sentence. If you can apply that one sentence, then that's good. That's maybe all you need from that. But obviously, I think I need to be asking those questions more. Can you see my spiritual, my emotional, my physical growth is easier, right? Because it's very easy to measure your strength or your physique, right? But that's why I think also why people default to it because it's vain
easy. Yeah.
and people can see it. But I think that if everybody could say, I read a book and I applied, I listened to YouTube and I applied, I listened to a book or I listened to whatever and I applied, then you will be able to know that you're growing.
Yeah.
And I think that that is something people could think of on the daily. Figure out how do you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It makes me think, and I got that piece. What you're saying is in a book with John Maxwell. He
Mm-hmm.
said, when you read, you take notes, right? You take a note and then you write down your thoughts on what you took a note on. And then you find a way to share it with somebody. And then you
Mm-hmm.
look for a way to apply it. And then you go back and update your notes, right? It's like,
Dude,
oh, this is
that's
how
it.
I applied it. This is what and it's really that simple. If you're not doing that, you're not tracking your growth. You're not finding a way to get after it. So as we wrap this thing up, you have anything else?
No, that's it. And you got me thinking I need to ask those questions to people. So I'm really
Yeah.
pumped. I'm going to apply some of this right now. This is self improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, something practical that everybody can do right now, right? So
Mm-hmm.
write down who you need to become in the next 90 days. Okay. And not what it needs to be, but who you need to be. And then go track that thing. Go start doing the work to become that person, right? Because our life is about becoming. We say it all the time in our business. Most people make a decision based on who they are today versus who they can become. You have to become, right? And we're always becoming. This is not by any means saying change your personality, right? And no. We're saying you just become a better person, right? Man, woman, child, like whatever it is. I'm trying to be. I need to be a better wife. I need to be a better husband. I need to be a better brother, sister, employee, right? Business owner, employer, whatever it is. How can you grow and measure? How can I get better spiritually? All of the things in order for you to reach that next level in life. So, like, comment, subscribe. This has been Success Blueprint. We love you guys and appreciate everything. Share it with somebody. If you found it of value, even if you didn't, we'll take all the hate too. And we'll catch you
So
guys on the next one.
can't wait to get some of that hate. Let's go. You guys have a good one.